Hello, my name is Duarte Salvador Ramirez. I'm gonna make my video summary about a history of English language. I'm gonna make a summary about 6 chapters, starting with the chapter 1, Old English, 450 to 100, 1150. The English language began with the arrival of Germanic tribes and the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes to Britain, displacing the native Celtic language. The main characteristics: it was highly inflected language, maintaining grammatical relationship were shown primarily words ending like Latin or Modern Germanic, not strictly by word order. In this part of the history, the Old English keep the Germanic, the Latin word order, if not grammatically. The vocabulary was most purely Germanic. The use of alphabet called phonetic, the runic thought is later adopted to Latin alphabet, with a few special characteristics like terms, ends, and the sounds. The sound of Germanic language and words were kept in the language, the Old English through the times. The most relevant event was the Germanic invasion, 450. The traditional starting point, the English language making the shift from Celtic and Germanic dominance English. The Germanic invasion keep the Celtic Germanic dominance of English. They keep the dominance of English in the invasion. So, the conversion to Christianity, 597, brought the Latin alphabet to introduce the significant number of Latin in religion, scholarship, and domestic life. So the court, the relationship, literatures, they keep the dominance of Latin in this time. The Vikings invasion, 793, led the maximum Old English word. Another Germanic language introduced words like fundamentals today, like sky, cold, take, and day. We're gonna talk about chapter 2, foreign influence, pre-Norman conquest. This chapter focuses on the continuous interrelationship of Old English with the other languages before the monumental change. 1066. The main characteristics language was constantly absorbing the vocabulary from different sources while maintaining the Germanic curse structure. The Germanic structure kept through the time. Old Norse influence specifically helped to simplify inflection by recording the importance of word ending as the speaker of both language needed to communicate. So both language keep mixed to communicate through the grammatical structures and specific words. The relevant events in the King Alfred and the Kingdom of King Alfred the Great Rey, 871, 899. Alfred, the King Alfred promote the use of English in Welling court transcription and promotion Anglo-Saxon chronicles. They established West Saxon dialect in literary standard. So, the King Alfred kept the language through the kingdom because there was another languages, and they keep the dominance of the English through the time because before there was a Germanic, French, and influence of Latin. Then allowed the territory under Danish control This area was noticed language blending between Old English and Old Norse, significant importance of North and East England, and leading to this simply. Now we're gonna talk about the Norman Conquest, chapter 3. This event is the most significant turning point of history of English language. The main characteristic, the conquest to be three linguistic class system. Normal French, dialect of all French, became the language of ruling class, court, laws, and government. 2. Latin remained the language of the church and scholarship. 3. English survived as the language of the common people. So these three characteristics are very, very relevant. For approximately 200 years, English had the official status and was rarely written down, leading the dialect divergence and further grammatical simplification. The most relevant event, the English of Hayti, 1066, William the Conqueror's victory over Anglo-Saxon establishes the new regime, amassing immediately shift to social and political status of English. That he established the English as higher status in his kingdom. Chapter 4, Establishment of English, 1200, 1400. Over time, English slowly began back into promises. Main characteristics: massive French vocabulary influenced the English speaker. Assumed position power of needed to adopt the synoptic vocabulary of law, government, and high culture, result of the absorbing them. Less of inflection. Grammatical ends mostly disappear. Most relevant event: loss of Normandy. King John, English territory in French, forcing the Anglo-Saxon Norman to choose their Italy, began the English as the true home. English became more practical language learned. The Black Death, 1347. The result labor shortage relevant the status of common people who spoke English, accelerating the language in school and commerce. Chapter 5, Middle English period as Renaissance. The Renaissance London dialect, due to the city commercial and political importance, the dialect of East Midland part, particularly London, became the dominant standard. The Renaissance, this area saw vast influx of classic Latin, Greek, word and scholarship, reading ancient texts, and enriched of vocabulary, immensity learned. The most relevant event, Godfrey Couch, Catherine Tells, 1380. In this part, the invention of printing press was a relevant impact. Through the printing of England was the single most important factor to standardize speaking, grammar, and vocabulary across the religion. Chapter 6, Modern English. This period is marked by main characteristics: the script grammar. 18th centuries saw push the perfect English, leading the creation of the dictionaries and grammar books, established rules, etc. They established rules, grammatical structure as a formal language. Vocabulary, Industrial Revolution, science advanced, and the British Empire. English vocabulary grew exponentially through the creation of technological terms borrowing from colonial language. Thank you very much.